What was this? Hey? You see that? I can't see that. You're gonna go into cheese debt. No more cheese until you can make up $250 worth. Yeah? Nah, you're cute. What's good, guys? If you guys haven't watched the previous videos, we are single turbo converting this RX7 right here, getting rid of those horrible stock twins. All the rat's nest is gone. And so today we're just gonna be tidying some stuff up and making a list of everything that we need to get before we get the thing tuned. This build has taken a lot of months to get sorted, but we have a brand new ATR 45 SS2, T51R mod, CHRA dual ball bearing, and 1.06 AR rear housing. This thing is gonna be a monster on this beautiful 13B right here. And we are slowly reaching our deadline of mid-September to get all of the fabrication work done. So before then, I want to have basically everything out the way, and so that way as soon as we get it back from fabrication, I can work out all the vacuum lines, get this whole thing sorted. Now first of all, I do want to thank some of you guys. The reason I bought this car and this engine and everything is so I could learn a different format of just engines and cars and everything. So being able to get messages from you guys in regards to stuff that we can do to the car, as well as have the FD group chat here in Brisbane, and just everyone that sent me a message in regards to some of the stuff that we can do, absolutely incredibly appreciative of just how many people have messaged me in regards to some upgrades that we can do to the FD. So first of all, a few of you guys told me to replace the air intake sensor. They get horribly heat soaked and they can just be really disgustingly slow, and they can actually change your map, which can lead to 13B failure. So today we're going to get a list of stuff together that I'm going to get, so that way we can make this 13B healthier and try to stay healthier for a longer time. So getting a 21st century air intake temp sensor will certainly be on the cards, but yeah, I need to make a little bit of a list of everything we need to. Now not only that, a few people in my little Brisbane FG group chat have told me in regards to these coil packs. These ones here, they don't look overly bad. They actually look like they're fairly new. I wish they had a date in which they were made, but that would really be helpful. The OEM coil packs on these right here, I believe they're an older, I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to give you guys the technical specs and then be completely wrong, but a lot of you guys have told me that upgrading to IGN 1As or LS coil packs is certainly going to be the go. But just to get the best out of my whole setup, especially going single turbo and the fact that everything's already off the car, it will 100% be worth it to go to a set of either LS or IGN 1A coil packs. The coil packs themselves are about $100 each, and the fact that we only need 4 of them should be perfect. There's a couple of companies that actually make full kits for it with wiring, basically plug and play into the standard FD wiring. Places like Vinifab Race Only, there's a few other ones that do it for around $1,000. But to be honest, with all the stuff that a lot of people have sent me in regards to stuff that we should do, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna set me back another month or so in regards to just buying the parts. And you know, I'm not made of money, and so buying those parts is probably gonna set me back another month, but once again, I don't really mind waiting. As long as we can get this thing off the dyno and rip it around without having to worry about anything, I'm going to be more than happy. Another thing some of you guys also said was upgrading the stock intake manifold. So this one here, as you can see, apparently something along the lines, it favors the front rotor, and that leads to failure for the second rotor, whether it's because of these smaller holes or something. So someone sent me a message in regards to this. I've never actually heard of it before, and that is a reason why a lot of people upgrade to a different intake manifold, plus they look way better. Either way, we're gonna be taking this off, so I'll have a chat to my tuner and see if that's something that he knows to work around, or if not, I'm pretty happy to keep the stock one if it works. I know a whole lot of people that use the stock one, so that should be completely fine. Anyway, today, I don't really know what the goal is. Ideally, I would like to have the twin turbos off, but realistically, I don't think that's gonna happen. There is so much stuff in the way. We have all the hard lines there. We also have the dump there, the O2 sensor, and everything. Having to get that around the steering shaft right there is going to be an absolute pain in the ass. Not only that, we have all of these actuators down the bottom here, which I think I'm gonna have to remove all of them before I do anything, but I don't know whether I'll be able to remove them from the actual turbo side, so I don't even know whether that's a possibility for me. The best thing is everything that I take off will not have to go back on, so I can kind of just unbolt stuff, and if I lose it, then hey, I don't really care. But yes, ideally I would like to not unbolt stuff that I don't have to. So I'm just gonna keep taking stuff off until it gets easier for me and I'll work it out. Plus, I'm also gonna be deleting the AST up there, so we're going to be getting rid of all these little cool clear hoses. I kinda do wanna keep a clear hose on here just for fun, because it does look kinda cool. But hey, we'll get to that at a later date. So I wanna get all these clear hoses off, get all this off, and just start unbolting stuff until we can get these turbos off. So that's the goal today. Another thing we're also going to be doing is removing the we're going to be doing an AST delete. So a few companies make these really cool nice big bottles and swirl pots, which I would honestly like to get. But there's another really cool option you can do, which is cutting off the top of this and actually welding on a fitting, which has a pressure relief valve, which basically just goes straight to the overflow there. So eliminates having to run this one here to the air separator tank up the back there and then coming back down to the front here. So just weld another fitting onto there, that way the pressure can go there if it needs to, and we can just run that one there straight down there, which makes a lot of sense. Right, so my next step is getting this dump off. I've already got 2 off. So yeah, the next thing I guess is just trying my best to get the bottom one off and then get the stud out. Hopefully the stud comes out with the bolt, but man, I highly doubt it. But we're gonna give it a shot. Pray to God it does, because we should be able to get these 2 studs out pretty easily. Even if we absolutely screw up the threads here, we should be fine to get them out. So fingers crossed that's how it all works. If not, I will literally just take a grinder to it. So yeah, fingers crossed, let's see how we go. Woo. 2 nuts managed to get that stud out pretty quickly, so hopefully the second one's the same. Fingers crossed. I wish I could say the same for the second one though. Rightio, so the dump is unbolted, as you guys can see right there. And I think we should be right to get around the top hole there. However, the bottom hole is certainly one that I'm gonna have to have a little bit of a play around with, because it's just going to be annoying as hell. So we might be able to see if we can jump under the car and see if we can shimmy it out, but I don't know. Once again, I'm being very optimistic. I'll jump under the car right now and see if I can shimmy this thing out of here. I don't know, it could be it's going to be very close with that. So, oh, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Well, we'll work it out. If that can just get off there, that'd be nice. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I just managed to get the dump off, and I had to jack up the engine and the mount just so, like, you guys can see the mount there, just so we could actually make it clear that there. So now it's just a matter of wiggling it down and around and through. Fingers crossed we can get it all sorted though. So I'm gonna quickly put the camera down and she's coming! She's coming! Jesus Christ! Look at it! Oh my god, that is never going back in. That was fucked. Ooh, that is never going back in. Because it won't fit. Alright, so pulling this dump pipe out, we have already got a lot more done than I would have thought on this today. I'm pretty stoked at that. So, one stock FD dump pipe out the way. Man, it's such a weird design. It goes so flat. It's kind of cool though. So now that that's all out the way, we have so much more room to work around getting these twin turbos out. So I'm going to take off all this heat shielding now and see if we can just get out a whole heap of stuff. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so the garage is starting to fill up. We have the dump pipe here. We have some of the heat shielding from the turbo. I'll show you guys just how much we got done today. I'm probably going to call it there, but the video is not over yet. We're going to jump upstairs. We're going to have a look at some parts that we can either dream about or potentially could get for the FD. The dump is off, as I said before. We've got the heat shielding off as well. So now it's just a matter of getting down beneath that turbo kit and basically undoing all the bolts down there so we can get the turbos off. It's going to be a nightmare. It's not going to be fun. So I'm kind of like, I'm saving that turbo for a later date. Rat's nest is pretty much well all cleaned up now. We have a few more little extra things that we got to look at. So this right here being the oil feed. The oil feed goes back to another big sort of feed up there, which we can just run a single braided line all the way across instead of having to tap into whatever that is there, or just running a hose line to it. So that'll look a whole lot neater. With the new kit, we're going to be running black braided line through the whole thing. You're also going to have to get rid of the fuel rail, because we're going to be getting a new fuel rail for this thing, as well as some Bosch 1000s for primary and secondary. Also going to have to go get some alloy, because we're going to have to make a block-off plate. That's one of the biggest things I'm currently looking at the moment, is whether I delete the OMP. If you guys don't know the oil metering pump, it's a common misconception with FDs that you have to pre-mix. With stock FDs, usually you don't pre-mix them because it utilizes the engine oil through the oil metering pump and injects it into the housings, so that way you don't have to pre-mix. But one of the biggest, a lot of people do use a little bit of premix, much like myself. I use like a little bit of premix in just to be on the safe side. But those oil metering pumps are great, but they do fail. So I think with this next stage, because I'm already this far into it, we're going to delete the oil metering pumps, so then at least I know that when I premix, it's going to be going into the engine. AST has been deleted. Don't mind that. That's another RB25 turbo that we're going to be high flowing very, very soon. So that's currently chilling there. I also think we're going to be taxing this off the bottom of it, because we already have one on the 33. However, we don't have one for the Hypergear just yet, because these get super, super hot. We need a oil return there. So I think we're going to be taxing that off the RB25 turbo and going to be putting that on the Hypergear, which is pretty cool. Either a Hypergear or GCG high flow for the future of the R33, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, we have a whole lot more stuff down here. We have the oil and water feed line. Yeah, so much more stuff. It's very cool to see. The garage is really starting to fill up with FD parts now. It is not fun. Alright guys, so let's jump upstairs and let's make a list of all the stuff that we need for the FD to go into the third phase of everything that we're going to be doing with it. This is a lot of fun, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so I'm currently just in my office at the moment, and I have up a few things that I think will go nicely on the FD build for the single turbo, that I think will definitely make sure that we harness we harness the capability of the car, the turbo, and everything else that we're going to it. Once again, this is a no expenses spared build. Once all this is done and we've had so much fun with the car, then we're going to be going back and we're going to be basically restoring this thing from the ground up and doing everything in terms of underbody coating, painting the whole thing yellow like the dream FD that I wanted. Plus we'll be single turbo, we'll have the Gretty V-mount. Everything that we've got so far has led this car to be perfect, and so everything that I have on this list right here is what I would want if I was to get my dream rotary. So first of all, there's a few things we want to get from a Tucker Garage. So first of all, we're going to be getting a set of 4 Bosch 1000 injectors. So we're going to go Bosch 1000s for primary and secondary. I don't really need too much injector to push what I want to push. Plus that's 2000 per rotor, so to be completely fine. And not only that, we're also going to be getting this right here, which is a Raceworks fuel rail, also from a Tucker Garage. Don't mind the random websites that I got going on. All this stuff will be from a Tucker Garage. So this one right here, the Bosch 1000s plus the Raceworks fuel rail. Sorry guys, my other camera died, but anyway. We'll continue on with the list on the GoPro. So if you guys can see right in front of me, we have the Turbo Smart 50mm wastegate. We're going to be doing the internal, external sort of setup. I think if we can't, we're probably going to lean more towards external. External rotaries sound absolutely amazing, so we're going to be picking up a 50mm wastegate, and that is going to pair really nicely to the ATR 45 SS. Now also we have a Walbro 460, which we're also going to be picking up from a Tucker Garage. Now this is where we get into the fun stuff in terms of the coil kit that I was telling you guys about before. So a lot of people choose to go with like the R-Magic kit. You can also do LS and 1A IGN coil packs from AEM, which is the kit that I've been looking at going with. So a company over in New Zealand, Vinifab, which is a company that I've wanted to work with for a while. I've sent a couple of emails back and forth with him, but nothing really came from it. But I think I might send another email and see if we can work out something to do with this new coil kit. Even if he doesn't message me back, I'll probably most likely still get this kit. Although I could probably build one myself, it looks like it should be a pretty easy bracket, and if not, I can just make my own little bracket with some washers and stuff, and that'd be fine. This kit really looks really well put together, plus I don't really want to do my own wiring. I kind of a little bit scared of it. But anyway, you guys can see that just sits on top. If you could imagine, that's the gearbox right there. This just sits on top of the engine, and it goes basically into the stock location, comes with a plug and play wiring harness, and it's also an AEM 1A IGN coil. You'll have leading 1, leading 2, trailing 1, trailing 2 for spark plugs. And it looks really nice and sort of set up on top of that engine there. Definitely gets rid of the horrible things. Plus it also comes with all the wiring and everything to upgrade it, so that way you can handle the extra amps that comes out. I think that'll be a really good thing. Once again, I don't mind if I have to put the standard coils back in, because I know that it was tuned with those coils about a couple of months ago, and it was completely fine with it, made some impressive power. But I think definitely going with these in the future, if not now, would be a great option. Now, also along with that, I found out that the little fitting on top of my AST actually would have to be welded on, so we could potentially just tap it out and do it. If not, we could actually get some of these from Vinifab. So once again, Vinifab makes some really cool, nice products. We have a nice little AST right there, or AST delete. It completely deletes that second expansion tank, which is pretty cool. Now this one here is definitely a must. I think one of you guys said in the comment section that the intake air temp sensor is actually just a coolant sensor, and I later found that out on this website right here. So if you don't know, the air temp sensor on an FD RX7 is actually a coolant temp sensor that has been repurposed. It's extremely slow and inaccurate and will compromise your ECU's ability to compensate fuel for the different air temps. So after reading that and after seeing your guys' comments about it, for $200, this tiny little kit right here is going to be perfect, and it plugs into the OEM wiring harness, so that is absolutely perfect. We're going to be definitely getting one of these, so that way we can hopefully try and make this RX7 bulletproof. Now, not only that, I'm in the chat at the moment with the link. Don't mind the website. This is actually an American website. But yeah, getting a Link G4X for the RX7, I feel like it's going to be a massive bonus. Once again, this, I don't need it now, but if I can, I will. But it'll definitely come in the future. We'll be going with a link. We'll be going with a link on the RX7, much like the R33. The R33's link has been absolutely flawless, and I love running it. I am slowly learning the tuning side of it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I definitely think going with the Link G4X for the Series 8 RX7 will be absolutely perfect. Now, this is another thing I'm kind of on the edge about at the moment, whether I'll have to or not. Eventually I would like to, but this right here, one of you guys also said in the comments about a lower intake manifold. So there's two really big main ones, or main brands, to choose from. So we can look at going with the Elite, which is this one right here. So if you guys can see, it's a nice little neat package, gets rid of all of the little chambers and everything that needs to go on this. So yeah, I definitely think that'll be a bonus. So this one right here is $600, or you have this one right here from the Elite Rotary shop. This is the this is the bee's knees, the duck's nuts. This is like the go-to if you were to go with a 13B upper and lower intake plenum. So they look absolutely amazing. So if you guys can sort of see right there, they look really, really nice. A lot of high-end rotary builds have these. I definitely think it's worth it. Whether I'll get it now or later, I'm not entirely sure, because this will probably push the build back a fair bit if I do it. However, you can choose a whole lot of different powder coating options, and not only that, what I thought was really cool is they also have an equal length, if you guys can see that, equal length injectors, an equal length fuel rail, which is pretty cool. So yeah, can choose all different types of colors. I'll probably just go with black on black, try and black out the engine bay, which I think would be really cool. It's all on back order. I'm pretty sure it's all made to order. So you can also get these from Pack. Pack sells them for a fair bit, and I think eventually it'll be nice, but you guys can see just how much bigger those holes are. But they make these for like 3 rotors and 4 rotors, and just they're crazy. I don't know whether I need it just yet. I think if I can get away with having the standard upper and lower intake planner for now, I probably will, just for the simplicity of keeping it, but we'll see how we go. So I think that's everything so far. If there's anything else you guys can think of that we should get for the RX-7, once again, I'm still learning this platform. I'm still learning everything. I'm going to order a whole bunch of vacuum line. I'm going to order a whole bunch of vacuum clamps. So that way, instead of the R33 where we just zip tied everything and we had a whole bunch of boost leaks, I definitely do not want that to happen again. So even before we go onto the dyno, I'm going to definitely boost leak test this car, make sure that we are 100% good and we have no leaks and we are holding boost. But yes, aside from that, if you guys have any questions or anything in regards to what we should do for the RX-7 to try and make this thing bulletproof, definitely leave it down in the comments. It's going to be great fun. Also, let me know about deleting the OMP. I'm still on the fence about deleting the OMP. It might be nice to still keep it, but then it might be nice to just get rid of it and just go straight premix. Plus, it'll smell better. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.